Good evening, students. Ooh, I look a little bit crazy here. All right, let's get down to some math. I do have a joke to start us off. Just a moment. What's the best season to practice adding? Summer. Get it? Summer. Well, I guess summer is a while ago. But sorry, I'm just flipping between things. Okay. But we have started off the year really strong. So let's get moving. Okay. We are in unit 2. We are on lesson 4, division situations. We're going to write our name. Today I'm going to be Morgan State. And I just want to check out this equation. So I know that division turns into a fraction because the division symbol is replaced by numbers. The dividend is always the amount to be divided, the numerator, the first number. The divisor is always the people equally sharing or the thing that's splitting. And it is always the second number. Just like up here, the numerator is first and the denominator is second. The quotient is the amount each person gets. In 6th grade language, we are going to call this the unit rate. And as you get older, it will be called lots of other things like a constant and the constant of proportionality and the slope. And anyway, so this quotient here represents what one person gets, one share. Okay, so it's like what's being shared, the sharers, and the share per person. All right. So you can work on these problems on your own on the blank paper and then watch the video or do it the other way around. Either way, here we go. 8 fifth graders equally share 4 quarts of paint in art class. Complete the diagram below to show how much paint each child will get. So the diagrams are meant to be able to like show what's happening. So that's why I have 4 quarts. And I know that there are 8 fifth graders. Okay. So I am going to split each of these quarts into 8. Okay, so now I have 8 sections. So this is 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8. These are the notes you should be taking. 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and then this is 8/8. So this represents the whole. Okay, so I'm looking for these notes when you turn in this paper. And each child, okay, if there's 8 of these 5th graders, each child is going to get 1/8 from the first quart, 1/8 from the second quart, 1/8 from the third quart, and 1/8 from the fourth quart. That is 4/8. And if that is familiar to you, it should be, that is equal to 1/2. 4 is half of 8. And in like when we get older, we're going to write divided by 4 over 4 because this 4 is a 1 in disguise, and anything multiplied or divided by 1 is itself. Okay, so 4/8 is equal to 1/2, and that means that our 4 quarts, that means that our 4 quarts were divided by our 8 fifth graders. And that means it was 4 divided by 8, which is 4 over 8, which is exactly what we got. Okay, so how much paint does each 5th grader get? 4/8 quart of a paint or 1/2 quart of a paint. Quart of paint, not a paint. Okay, maybe think through this idea about a 1 in disguise. If you have 3 over 3, oopsie, I'm going down here, you can't see. If you have 3 over 3, that's a 1 in disguise. 10 over 10, 16 over 16. And if you did 14 divided by 3 over 3, 5, 10 over 10, 16 over 16, you're still going to get 14 because each of these are a 1 in disguise. And we're going to use them a lot with equivalent fractions and reducing fractions, because reducing fractions is just a way to get an equivalent fraction smaller. You can't reduce anymore. It doesn't have any common factors in its numerator denominator. Okay, so let's now look at the next bit of homework. We have a describe a situation that can be represented by a diagram above. Okay, so I'm looking for what's being shared. That's going to be my numerator, my first number, and it looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 items being shared, and my items are being split into thirds. Okay, 4 items shared and split by 3 people or piles or however you want to do it. So let's just say my favorite thing is like, let's see, cookies. I have 4 cookies and I am sharing with 2 friends 4 cookies for 3 people. Okay, so my equation is going to be 4, because that is what is being shared, divided by 3, because that is who is getting it. Okay, an equation has an equal sign and an answer, so I'm going to say 4 thirds, and then I recognize, oh my goodness, 4 thirds is 3 thirds plus 1 third. And what is 3 thirds? A 1 in disguise. So this is 1 and 1/3. That means because there's more items than there are people that are sharing, that means everybody gets 1 and 1/3 of the last one. And if you can see this drawing, say this one goes up here, that shades in. This one goes up here, that shades in. And you have 1 whole and 1/3. Okay. All right. So each of us, I'm just going to conclude this, get 1 and 1/3 cookies. And that makes me really happy. So I'm going to put a smiley. Okay. Which number makes this equation true? Well, I know my first number is 6, and that means my second number has to be 8. So that means 6 divided by 8 is equal to 6/8. If you can reduce that by a form of 1 in disguise, numerator and denominator by the same number, then that's a bonus. See if you can reduce that. Okay, reduce means the numerator and denominator have a greatest common factor of 1. It just means nothing else can be divided into it. Okay, and here's the last question. A group of friends spent the afternoon filling up a bag of candy at the sugar shop candy stop. They shared all the candy equally. If they collected 3 pounds of candy together and each friend got 3/5 pound of candy, how many friends shared the candy? Explain or show your reasoning. Now, this is different than any other question we've had, but it's the information that we're used to. So let's look for the numerator, what's being shared, divided by the sharers, and that equals the 1 share, right? So it looks like everybody is sharing 3 pounds, and 1 share is 3/5 of a pound. So what do you think goes here? I'm going to leave that for you to finish, and I will see you tomorrow. Great job. Watch the video again if you need to. Please go back and double check these problems, see how different this was. and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.